Hello, this is Olga Jevtich. I'm Miss Virginia Senior America 2003, and this is Fashion Notes. Thank you very much for tuning in today, and you are here for a special treat. We have a lady here with wonderful, thing that she made by her own hands, as I always say. And before I introduce her, I would like to thank Miss Rose Jacobs for recommending her, because the Rose was supposed to be on the show and she had some health issues. So she said, I have a great friend. I said, great, I would love to see. And of course, I was very impressed with her jewelry. So I invited Sheila Summerlin, if I said it correctly. She's a guest today, and she does things that you wouldn't believe it. You will never find in any store. All pieces are one of a kind. She does metal work. She does beadwork. She has many other things. But let me introduce her first. Sheila, thank you very much for coming. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you could come and, to show us. So, she is an extremely talented lady that she's doing different technique with different material. And I don't know how she does all of this. It's different being just jewelry designer, but to do all these things, especially with the metal. So you have to be a metal master. You have to be the class master. You have to be, of course, to know how to put the colors together, and stones. And of course, she's all of that, put together. Thank you very much. I'm so, you have to tell. How did you start? I always ask my guests, how did you start working with jewelry? Did you do something else before? Or you just start doing something, jewelry for yourself? Or how did you start it? I'm always curious to ask my guests, how did they start their business?
I always liked design, I like color.
You were artsy probably all your life.
Yes.
You have to, and then you develop, of course, your talent, I'm sure.
Yes, I started out with the glass. I took a glass lover's weekend, and the glass was interesting, and it was to make beads. And then I was like, oh, that's all right, but I think I can do something a little different here. So when I started looking at stones, I was just totally fascinated with the stones, the colors, everything about it. So I started.
What stone was, like, as you remember, your first piece that you made? What was the stone that you work with and that you got hooked on it?
Lapis. The lapis. I love lapis. The color.
Lapis lazuli, they call it?
Yes. Yes. The blues. The
blue, beautiful color.
Beautiful. And I started with that, and I used to I have a lot of it now. I just steadily buy lapis. And the other one is labradorite. Labradorite, it's a fiery stone. It reminds you somewhat like of an opal, just the iridescence. And I tend to like the iridescence in stones, and I think that's why I really fell in love with pearls also.
Pearls.
Yes.
I know the lapis lazuli, it's usually round beads. This is what I know. But I see your pieces, they come in different, shapes.
Oh yeah, you can find it in just about any shape.
Is that right?
Those are more.
I am very familiar with the just round beads. That is most, ordinary. But I did not know they're making them in, different shape that you can put together. As you can see, one on the end. This is what we are talking about. It's an absolutely different shape that you put together. And what other stones did you combine with? It is not just it is something else. I can see from here in lighter color.
Just sterling silver. It's just sterling silver.
Silver. Okay.
Yeah. I use the sterling silver and the lapis. More of the stones now are coming raw, and it's polished, but it's more of a raw cut. It's not a smooth, refined cut. And the raw pieces, the raw stones are now very popular, and they're nice. They're very different.
I see. Oh, but in addition, she does necklaces. She does all kind of things. For example, she, I think, graduate, if I can say, to metal, and this is a pin, but it has interesting backup, so you can put, through material, so you will never lose it really, and it's an interesting shape. What kind? Is this the silver?
It's sterling silver, and
this is never tarnished, I bet.
That one, the sterling silver will tarnish after over, time. I put a sealant on it to try to keep it from, but the fine silver doesn't. The fine silver will pretty much not tarnish.
I see. But not just silver, as you can see, those are little pieces, I don't know if you can see. This is a copper, and what else?
That's, the whole thing is copper.
But the copper comes in this color, darker color?
No, the darker color is paint.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
well,
that's
this is
paint.
very, interesting thing. And what is this?
That's copper and sterling silver.
Copper and silver.
Yeah.
And this is a pin. And she has a most interesting, I have to show them, if you can see. This is the backing of the, it's not ordinary, this is really extraordinary, different thing how the backing is composed. And of course, tell us about, for example, this is a green, and what kind of stones are these? And I think it's a mix with the silver, and interesting, like a pendant that is on, in the middle, as you can see. Do you buy like this, an interesting pendant, and you don't know what we're going to do, and then of course, later I say, oh, I have this,
Yes.
so I can put together. Is that how it's done?
Yes, if I find something interesting, an interesting pendant, yeah, you pick it up because you'll never find it again. Anyway.
Exactly, and I'm sure they're all one of a kind. If you can have one of her jewelry,
Yes, they are.
that you're sure nobody in the world will have it, only you, which makes it even more special. What kind of black necklaces in front of us? What are those stones?
This is a striped agate.
Agate.
Yeah, this is a striped agate,
And also that comes in, interesting shape, in combination with silver. And you have to show if they can see the clasp is also very coordinating clasp. So maybe you can put the clasp sometimes on the side and, show, because the clasp is as beautiful as the necklaces.
yes, it's the same stone. I try to use the same stones with a lot of the clasp, or just clasps that have a lot of personality.
I'm sure. But not just that, she did not want to neglect men, so she has a cufflinks, because, the men like, to get, and they get dressed up. They have a, French cuffs, and they need to have some kind of cufflinks. Yeah. And these are the cufflinks that she makes. They're very stunning. And what is this? This is a silver?
Yes, these are sterling silver. These are the buffalo nickels. And
then I see the nickel.
Yeah. So I just went online and ordered silver nickels. And when I got them, I just polished
how did you do this metal work around?
It's soldered. These are all soldered.
Solder.
The band is soldered to the, I just took a disc of sterling silver and make sure I had everything together here. And then I just put a little solder on the back of the nickel and soldered it, and then brought this around and soldered it all.
Well, to do all these, so small thing, you have to really see well. So do you have some special glasses to do it? Otherwise it will be very difficult to see such a fine work that she is doing. And you have the pearl. Is it the pearls here, cufflinks? I like that. They're very elegant. I like that very much. This is what kind of stone? You said it's not pearls, really.
No, this is fine silver. Now this won't tarnish.
Ah, yeah. Okay. You fool me. But here you can see, I like this one very much. It goes really, you can wear anything and be, with these necklaces. That she said this is a Venetian beads, and they come, as you see, in like a rainbow in colors. And they put them together so beautifully that, that you can see they really all go beautifully all together, the colors. And also the kind of bracelet, So this is, I don't know from where I should start, because she does all this variety of things. And she has to be not just the designer, she has to be the a metal cutter and metal, I don't know, you must have probably so many power tools to do this, this work. And also, if you make mistake, you cannot correct it. You really have to be good what you're doing, to cut it, because if you cut the stone, I'm sure it will go in million pieces if I will do it, because I don't know how to do it. But you have to be very precision-minded to do something like that, to cut the stone, and also to not just a stone, even if she's cutting all the metals that you see in front of us. So this is another art form which she actually is doing so well. And all this bracelet that she has in front of us, for example, this is grayish and black. Then you have a pink. And what kind of stones are those?
These are all Venetian glass. They're all Venetian glass. Yeah.
So who's your, are you designing mostly for all kind of ages? Or you have a special group of ladies that would like, to wear your jewelry, or somebody who is really artsy person who appreciate, handwork?
I think a lot of the pieces would appeal to, I think, a pretty wide range. If I would look at my target market, I would probably say from, 35 to 60 or 70, going up. For teenagers or for the younger group, I look at my niece and them, and I'll make things, and they kind of frown.
Maybe
at them.
bracelets,
They like the bracelets.
Bracelet, yes.
They will love these. They like the Venetian glass. They like the color.
Venetian glass, absolutely.
I've done a couple of metal cuffs at different times for them. But yeah, it's kind of like a good range. It just really depends. It
depends of the person, of course. Even older person will appreciate the beautiful, for example, this Venetian glass beads, which are in beautiful coordinating. They have some kind of, besides being sparkling, they have some special something on it that sparks even more. Inside of the Venetian glass,
I
can see that.
You have either just regular gold paint, or you have sterling silver. You have 24 karat gold, 18 karat gold. It depends, and you can tell when you purchase them. The price varies based on what the inside is.
And how do you pick? You have all order and like all kind of colors, and then you just put them together. Is it for example, how much time do you think you spent making designing? You probably, do you sketch first and they said, well, I'm going to do this, or it just goes, you start and your hands lead you to something that you have in your head?
The metal, I sketch. I sketch out, all the metal pieces have been sketched. Now the stones, what I do is I'll lay them out, I'll put them somewhere where I don't have to move them. And I just lay them out, and I just walk by a couple of days and look at it. And sometimes I'll say, okay, this works.
Forget
I'll put it together.
Now, I'll do it later.
Well, just to look and see if it works. Sometimes you'll put the things together, and when you go back and look, and you go, oh no.
It doesn't look good to me.
So after a day or so, if it keeps looking good to you,
it just comes to you.
I put it together.
I think now I know what you're doing.
Yes. And that's the easiest way to do it, because sometimes you'll put things together, and then once you finish it, if you don't, you go, oh, this really doesn't look too good. But it's easier to lay them out and just keep on looking at them, and then it's like...
Yeah, Sheila says she has a big studio. She built it, in her house. So it's a big studio. So how do you store all of this jewelry there? In boxes, or?
I have these, they look like kind of file cabinets, but the drawers are pretty narrow. And I just have it based on the stone.
Oh,
the type of
color,
stone.
By color?
No, I do it by stone. I don't do it by color. Like I have a drawer full of lapis, turquoise, agate, onyx, amethyst, amber. I just have the drawers based on the stone itself. And that just makes it easier for me, because usually when I'm putting a piece together, I'll focal on the one stone, and then I may gather other things to accent it. Like that one, the turquoise one there, that one's turquoise and serpentine. The focal piece is stone called serpentine.
And I have to ask you something very interesting, because I asked many designers before. They all have different answers. You know, I know you are professional. You have to have a special, you know, containers, you know, to carry because you do shows. But for example, like ordinary people like me and somebody else who has a, you know, good amount of jewelry, how do you store it? Do you put them, you know, in some bags, or how do you take care of it? Because, you know, I don't think I do the right thing, but let me hear your opinion.
I wrap, now certain things, pearls,
They're sensitive.
I wrap them. I wrap them in a soft cloth.
In cloth.
Any soft, really soft cloth, and just wrap them. And I don't worry about the clasp on them. I mean, if it's silver or something, usually where I have them, there's not enough oxidation to really worry about it, or else I can wipe it off. Stone pieces, or anything that's metal, say with a lot of sterling silver, I have these bags that are called oxidation bags.
Oh.
So you don't have to keep polishing. You don't want to polish every time you put something on. So these, you can buy the bags that when you seal
and this is enough, for example, just to use the soft cloth to maybe to polish from time to time a little bit, you know, to,
Yes.
you know, keep the, you know, of course it's not, you don't need to be washed.
No.
But I was just curious because, for example, if you travel, how do you put them together, you know, like a few pieces, you know, for traveling? Me, like the ordinary us people, not professional, to carry our own jewelry, what do you suggest? How to pack them, you know, to be, you know, in good condition and not to take too much space? Because now, you know, you have to not to carry very much anyway.
A little small compact jewelry boxes.
Is it important to not to touch each other or not?
It depends. Pearls, for traveling, it wouldn't really matter. It's not long enough. You know, it's not a long enough period of time. But if you're going to actually be storing it for a while, no, you don't want them rubbing, a lot of things rubbing up against each other, and then the breakage depends on, you know, if something falls on
Bumping,
something.
yeah, right.
And most of the things, I would say, just to
Also, probably is it a good idea to use just a soft cloth and maybe, you know, just wrap them, you know, casually and put in some bag.
And then wipe them down also. So that cloth could serve two purposes. Because for the most part, when you take your jewelry off, you should have not wet, but just lightly damp, just to wipe it down from sweat, makeup.
I see. Yeah, right. I see.
Yeah.
I know, especially pearls. I know the pearls are really, especially when you cook something, all this, you know, steam from cooking is not good for the pearls. So you have to really be careful. I know about that. But also for storing, they have to be, you know, stored properly and not to be touching other pieces of jewelry, which is, you know, it's very important because they are very expensive. You should take care of it, and you should know how to take care and, you know, how to store it, how to take them, and how to wear it.
Yes, and get them restrung periodically too. A lot of people, I restring also, and do repairs. I also do repairs on jewelry, but the thing of the restringing, it's just, after so long, it's just a good idea just to have them restrung.
Right. Do you do also custom, like if somebody said, really, I would like this design, but would like if you use like different stones?
Yes, I do custom work. And
custom work.
And what I usually will do, I'll ask the person, like, what are you looking for? What is it, the occasion, if it's something special, or just something
what dress,
you want.
probably. They would like, you know, to have something matching, you know, so you can do it. Oh, that's good to know. So if you would like something special, she can do it, no problem. And tell me, I see some silver beads. What are those? Like silver, they look silver, I don't know.
No, these are Swarovski pearls. This
pearls.
is a combination of chain. It's a oxidized chain. It's hematite and Swarovski pearls. And this one is a multi-layer with a sterling silver clasp.
Oh yeah, it's still, the clasps are beautiful. You know, they're really art of work. You know, beautiful. And also, I see some umber, if I'm right. Is this umber?
That is carnelian, big raw pieces of carnelian.
Oh, I thought that was the umber because the umber is a similar color. It's not the same, but you know, the umber. Oh yeah, and they're all in different shape, but they see how well they go together, beautifully, and they are shades of the same family of color. Absolutely beautiful.
Carnelian is a beautiful.
And it's interesting because there are, for example, this is a very odd shape, but it goes, that very, very well, very well. Well, what do you think will be your next project, with, in jewelry, or, I know all the artists, do from time to time one thing and they get tired. They said, well, now I think I'm going to do, something else. I don't know what, for children or for, I don't know, even people do it for dogs.
Good money in that one. That's profitable. No, what I'm going to start, I'm working on a line. I think I'm going to start doing more wholesale, or trying to get into wholesale. And so basically I've been working and designing a line. And once I get everything together, I should be able to hopefully get the line into a few stores.
Isn't it difficult to do that because you do one of a kind, because if you are doing, more of the things, that will probably much easier. But to do just one piece at a time, the wholesale must be extremely difficult, to do it.
You can do it, but you have to really concentrate on what you're doing. But the things that I want to continue with one of a kind, but I also want to do the wholesaling and get into the stores.
That's a different story,
and then
course.
That way, my one of a kind pieces will be even more special. I can really concentrate on those, because the line, pretty much, once I design it, I can have that produced.
Oh, that's a different story. Yes. Of course, I was thinking, how can you work? And also, I think she works full time.
Yes, I do.
Wow, I don't know. She probably never sleep. Just work at home and work out of home. With the other job, which is wonderful. I don't know how she do it, but I congratulating you for doing all of this, which is not easy. I'm sure this is a pleasure, of course, to do it, to see, especially when you see your piece of somebody else wearing.
Yes.
And this is even more pleasure to see when somebody's wearing your design, and so proud to have it, which is absolutely fantastic feeling. Even, I don't think you can really justify the time you put in every piece, because it takes so much time, effort, and also to find appropriate material to make, things up, which is not easy. And, the sources are not always there, and you have to research and to find the sources where you are going to order from. I know now with the internet probably it's a little easier, but you need time to do it.
You go to different shows. You do different. Like, I'm a member of the Society of North American Goldsmiths, and every year at the conference they have a lot of different vendors with stones, with metals, with everything. So it's very, very, it's good, because they have a reputation, they're reputable, you know that what you're ordering and getting
that you
is
get what you
is.
order. And so that is good, that you can trust the people, that you can order something, not seeing it,
Yes.
And touching, and to see if it's really that thing. And especially now they can color any particular stone under the sun. For example, turquoise. I had a designer that she did, and I was so surprised to see turquoise in different colors, because they do that. The turquoise is like what I'm wearing, and you think automatically this is what it is, but it is not, because it comes in pink and yellow and all kind of rainbow color, but it is turquoise, which is, and also there are some glass that make to look like, and like turquoise. So you really have to know what are you buying, and it's not easy, to do it, to distinguish from real to not too real. So it's important to have some reputable company that you are dealing with. Do you mostly, there's jewelry shows here several times a year. Do you go there, patronize, and do you buy, because they have a wholesale section?
Yes, I have two vendors, two particular wholesale that I usually purchase from. And that's usually it.
Yeah, one of my former guests, she said that in Arizona. There is in the summer, I don't know, in May or something, some kind of.
In Tucson.
And then she goes there, and you have like, you know, a variety of just about everything under the sun.
They come from all over the world. You have cutters, you have people with their stones and stuff from Germany,
have everything.
Europe, everywhere.
Yeah, right. You know, which is, you know, unbelievable, you know, to have, you know, all sources there, so you don't have to, you know, I'm very familiar with it. You know, she told me that, you know, that she was every year looking forward to get all these goodies that she, you know, can work. I'm sure you know, you are familiar with that. But anyway, I don't know what else did me cover. Did you have some metal? I'm very impressed with her cutting metal. I think metal is not easy to cut. I know if I have something metal, you know, I would never even try. My husband is good at it, and he can, you know, he can do it for me. But, you know, this is a fine thing, and you have to polish it. You have to make a shape, you have to finish it. So it's a really, you know, interesting and, you know, difficult thing to do. But anyway, I don't know, but did we cover everything? I know she's, as I said before, she didn't forget men too, which is wonderful, you know, so the men can have beautiful cufflinks when they, you know, all get dressed up with the French cuffs, you know, it's just, it's just really, you know, wonderful. And so what else we did not talk about that, you know, show me, you know, in front of us, there are so many beautiful things that she is doing. For example, this is a bracelet, which is, no, I like this. I like this. Tell me about this. This is like a very translucent color, so you don't really, if from each side it's a different color, so you don't, you know.
These are Kishi freshwater pearls. They're definitely, the translucent.
Translucent. Well, listen, when we have a good time, the time just flies. And I think I would like to thank Sheila for coming today and sharing all her beautiful candy with us. And I hope, you know, I wish her all the success in her shows, and you know, for the next venture, I'm sure she's going to have. And I am really very thankful that she came in the short notice, matter of fact, you know, to be with us and to show us all her, you know, goodies that she is working with. And I would like to thank you very, very much for watching. And of course, we expect you to see us the next time with another exciting designer, craftsman from our area. And this is Olga Jevtich reporting for Fashion Notes. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.